Hello everyone, Pineapple here with the latest episode of the amazing digital circus, episode 7, beach episode. Most of the episode not taking place at the beach, so it's not very aptly named, is it?
Nice.
Last time we had they all get guns, and it was a standout, solid character moments all around, a fun theme that led to good action, but here we do continue with character moments, but we get a more plot-focused plot, if you get my meaning, less of a focus on the character dynamics specifically, meaning I will probably not like this time as much as the last. But let's see as we get into the episode. We start with Zubul desperately hiding from Kane, but is cajoled out of hiding by Gangle and Pomni. And fair enough, I'd need a break every now and then from that insane AI's fuckery. But turns out he's gone for cigarettes and milk. Too bad he's not a dad, cause that would be a portent of his never returning. Kane, much to Zubul's annoyance, pulls an admittedly funny gag, the Chinese room. Actually a reference to an AI argument. But with some nice comedic timing, he sends them to the beach, rightfully pointing out it's been there the whole time, and of course, Bubble is as useless and distracting as ever. Yes, I'm still on the Bubble hate train. The group come upon the beach, getting comedically fitted with beach outfits, while the sun does her best Bubble impression in annoyance levels. Gangle and Zubul's gags are fun.
Gangle, wait.
And after Ragatha loses an eye, Pomni goes underwater to give us some fun cameos. Another non-smiling Friends cartoon on my channel to guest star Zach Haddle. And sure, it's a bit of a detour, but the gags with them are very funny, and I love the dodgy animation style.
I'm the one that tells lies. Dude, you ruined it.
Zubul is getting more comfortable in their skin, obviously trying to reach Jax even if bullying him at the same time, but it's definitely deserved. After another good gag where the shrimp NPC fucking dies, rest in peace, the show won't be the same without you. Pomni is lured over by the mannequin that's been in the background a few times, finally making contact. After Jax leaves, he heads back to his room, laying in the dark, and the details in his room are shown really well. We know he's kind of been cracking more since Untitled, trying to keep to his persona, but is regularly getting more moments where he gets too heated, too vulnerable, and having to almost shut himself down. And his photos being pinned to the wall away from him is a nice visual indicator of such. Now, since the show still hasn't exactly perfectly defined how abstraction works, other than it seeming to be caused by immense mental instability, considering Korthmo's obsession with the exit before his corruption. I don't think I'm confident enough to say how it ties into Jax in this moment, him seeming to come close to doing so if his eye colour is anything to go by. But as the photo of him, Ribbit and Korthmo stare back at him, he starts seeing things. Not only imposing black shapes and hands, since they look green, maybe a vision of an abstracted Ribbit? Either way, as soon as they touch, Jax goes into an acid trip-like state, reminding me of the goddamn Madagascar trank scene, where he's totally zoned out until he sees the visions of his face among those of his dead friends, together once again, which is really fucked up, but it's a great way of addressing his mental decline through the visual format, even if I found it to drag a little too long, so long in fact the plot got started off screen. Pomni and the others have met with the mannequin, it calling himself Abel, and claiming to be a human like them, and having a way towards the exit. The focus on the nearby eye art, a very well done detail. They want Jax's help to get into the Chinese room, Kane having said he doesn't know what's inside, making it the perfect base. So begrudgingly, Jax follows along with all his keys, except after a lengthy trying process, the room was unlocked anyway.
Has anybody even tried just...
Oh, thank God.
Pomni wants to tell Kinga, but Abel wants to keep him far away, and we learn later Kinga knows it's all bullshit as soon as Abel shares his name, and claims of being a developer of the circus. So I could speculate 1,000 things like, Kinga is actually Abel, or he worked on the circus, ooh! But apart from speculation, I distrusted Abel instantly after him trying to cut Kinga out. Kinga is my boy, so you can go fuck yourself, Mr. No-Face. Abel builds lore around the circus. Well, since it's all a ruse, possible lore, I suppose, of the company C&A doing unethical experiments on its employees and sticking innocent people in the circus when they ran out of test subjects, taking the people who end up in the office, which, as it seemed to be an abandoned building, would fit Pomni's backstory. Abel already has a plan to get out, ending the world through Kane's office. Jax immediately clocking his ass, predicting that all of this is just Kane's latest adventure, and that's something the show does right. Most other shows, I would be absolutely pissed that the episode's plot is basically meaningless, as it was all just false hope given to them by the oblivious Kane, who was only caring for his own vanity. But it's the small scenes of the characters talking or going through messy mentalities that make the episode worthwhile. Very well done in that aspect. The first step is having Jax basically going on a date with Kane and fisting his throat for a key card while he's distracted, having to do this disgusting move multiple times. Ew.
What you doing there, Jax?
Have I ever told you how it's my dream to get eaten by you?
That's a weird thing to say and want.
It's very uncomfortable. Pomni and Ragatha have a nice talk, Pomni just wanting Kinga along, confiding in Ragatha about her suspicions. And they're pretty justified considering Kane can just pull shit into existence as seen last episode. Kane pays off him staring at the photos last episode, and his creation of the never-ending office in the pilot, stating it's his obsession to learn what the office is. His AI mind obviously having little frame of reference for the outside world. Jax gets the key card, and Zubul and Ragatha decide to tell Kinga what's going on. As I said before, him only getting confused about Abel's story. Zubul clocks Jax's shit.
What's the rush? You got someone waiting for you outside?
Don't you?
Yeah.
And the other group get their cards, even with Abel being an arse on the Kinga issue. But in a really, really depressing move, Kinga realizes the whole thing is bullshit, but he's affected by the light as soon as he tries to tell Pomni. Oh, that's just wrong, man. That's really, I mean, it's very well done. But once again, that's just really depressing. They use a fun clipping glitch, just like in episode 2, to get into Kane's office, having to leave Abel behind. And Kane's office is actually kind of beautiful. I love the worlds in globes, I love the stars and the lighting. Meanwhile, Jack still seems to be declining as he reminisces, seemingly hearing past voices as he leers into the globes. I assume that would mean that the one he's looking at is a past adventure he was on with his friends. Maybe we'll see more of that in a future episode. Zubul and Gangle promise to stay friends once they escape, which is really sweet, but in the background Jax is wigging the fuck out, seriously. It's not specific what his whole motivation is. It could be a fear of being alone once outside, but to me it more likely feels like a fear of an unknown future in general, whereas staying in the circus is a guaranteed status quo. Or maybe he is truthfully arguing with himself about abstracting and joining his dead friends in a sort of suicidilic ideational way. They have a two-button choice, and Pomni rightfully questions the right decision, scared of the possible consequences. Of course, there is an obvious answer, but considering all of the dodgy shit that Abel has been spewing, she's right to question it. Just like Zubul is right to tell her to just press the goddamn button already.
Push that button.
Jax fully cracks, seemingly flashing into visions of the real world, whatever they allude to, because it seems like he's just driving in a neighborhood and then down a road, so I don't really know what they could really mean. But nevertheless, he freaks out, slamming the stay button, genuinely confused as to his actions, only for Kane to come out and reveal it was all in fact a test. Him wanting them to pick him over the real world, killing Abel in front of them as he seems to have just been an AI. His locket he stared at longingly with melancholy being a PNG of a hot dog. The story ending with everyone shocked and Jax legitimately snapping again, just in a different emotional way, because he seemed to actually hope they could leave. And Kane reveals that he can actually temporarily affect one's thought process, meaning he was potentially making Jax's mind worse. And if the show really wants to get dark, maybe he was doing it just so Jax would stay. And Kinga implying that an excess of this manipulation caused the first ever abstraction, prompting Kane to flee, and the episode ends there. So that was episode 7, and I was frustrated it basically went nowhere for 30 minutes. But like I said before, there is enough pure character moments, intrigue, comedy, and great animation, once again feeling like another step up, as we do every episode, for this episode to feel like a great piece of the puzzle. And we should be getting more definite answers, as I believe there are just 2 episodes left. This one kinda serves to take some fan speculation that the show obviously knew it was going to get, and shoving them down the toilet. Jax, while still a massive dick, was explored interestingly. Kinga's unfortunate moment was appropriately sad and empathetic, and character moments like Pomni's hesitation along with Zubal's anger, neither in the wrong, just having different temperaments, were really interesting and well performed. So I'll place The Amazing Digital Circus episode 7, Beach episode, as an 8 out of 10. Great for character moments, but not as good in the plot or character-wise as they all get guns, but I felt the cohesive and solid narrative line works better than the clip show of Untitled. Thank you everybody for watching my review of this episode of The Amazing Digital Circus. Took me a while to get to it, as with the way the episode turned out, even though I liked it, I didn't feel that motivated to make a video. But it's not like that's a negative towards the show or anything. And honestly, I can't wait for the next 2 episodes. Please like the video if you liked it, comment down below if you wish, consider subscribing to the channel, and if you do, ring the notification bell so you're told every single time that I make an upload. Once again, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next review. Bye!
Toast. A little piece of toast. Because there's so much to choose from. There's brown bread, white bread, all sorts of wholemeal bread. It comes in funny packages with writing on the side.